fight against crime in Trinidad and Tobago.
The Prime Minister said the murder toll as of Tuesday evening stood at 509 and said he's concerned as to what would have been the figure if government was not doing all it can to stop the criminal elements.
This wraps up the luncheon edition of news as produced by Triple M.
Distant lands, our forefathers came, some seeking adventure, some bound in chains, through battles waged and fought, through victory and pain. By test of their courage, our freedom was gained. In homage to those gone before us.
Welcome, brothers. Welcome, sisters. Welcome to our program On Target. And as soon as we start this program, you can pick up a telephone and give us a call. We never have a subject matter. We speak about anything. Politics, religion, issues, trending, socioeconomic challenges in the country. We speak about it. And most of all, you can introduce your own topic. And we always welcome our brothers and sisters from the parish of Carriacou and Petit Martinique and Mama Can and Macken and Conference and any part in the country where people listen to us. And we have our first caller, Punch.
Good evening, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller.
So I just called to tell tomorrow will be the 4th of November 1979 for me. In the sense that on the 4th of November 1979, I was detained in Monjalo St. George's by members of the People's Revolutionary Government. And I was brought on Fort Rupert. I was blindfolded. And they run against me against the vehicle that was parked in the yard. And after that, they put me sit down to hug two other fellas in front of me. And they reversed a car upon me and squeezed me to the ground. Then they brought me to a room for interrogation purposes. Inside that room, I was beaten, asking questions about meeting by Dr. Jensen Hartwig and other personnel. When I say I didn't know about this meeting and them, a strange voice inside that room said that he did not cooperating. So they had to teach him a manners. It was a Bajan accent. I later get to know in life into my finding out what taking place to be Bobby Clark of Barbados. He was the legal advisor to the government at the time. And they hold on my foot on the ground and they get a broomstick and a hammer and they pound out my toenails. A couple of days after, they brought us, me and several other persons, on the top square of Fort Rupert, that's up by the storeroom. They line us up against the wall where they execute Parish Bishop. And they say 2 days a day, fine squad, take him. So when I heard that, I take a deep breath, because I expect that they executed me now. And then Pierre and then ball with them out. With them out. And they spend a little time there, and they bring us on the upper level, what we normally call the battery, by the cells. And they put us in the cells there. Part of the cells were covered galvanized, and the other part were covered barbed wire. I spent 42 days there. And after that 42 days, I was transferred to Richmond Hills Prison, where I spent 3 years and 12 days up there. I was released. And after release, I say internal imprisonment, because every 15 days, I was to go and report in Guav police station. Because I didn't work in at the time, I asked Ian St. Bernard if he could transfer me to Sotes police station, which was near for me. And he did that, and I reported there until October 25th, 1983. I just called to tell my story because life is running out on people, and anything could happen at time, and a lot of things happen, and people might know about it. But I'm to use the program, your program, to highlight what would have taken place with me at Fort Rupert in 1979.
Thank you very much, caller. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you. I think it's important that we get some calls like that. Some people do not believe. And unless those voices come on radio and tell the story, our children and our children would not believe. You see, the propagandists, they continue to bombard the radio station, social media with lies. And the real stories in our country are not told. And please use that platform to call us on the radio and tell your stories. Just tell them in your own voice, in whatever way that you want. I don't even have to ask you a question. Just tell the stories. Let our people know. Let them know the truth. You see, it's hard in history. When 500 years from now, our children are reading stories that is lies, that is not true, that is falsehood, and our people buried with the truth. Some of the Rastafarians that was in the cow pen in Hopeville, you must call us too and tell us the stories. You lost your family, you lost your children, and you were placed under the most inhuman condition and fed with food that you thought was against everything you stood for. Call us and tell us your story. The women that was laid on the hot pitch in Ticolo, an individual walk on their backs. Call us. Use my program and pick up the telephone and tell us the truth in your own words. I encourage every day for people to tell their children the truth. Tell your children your history. That is what is important. Nothing is wrong with the history you learn in the school, but it was not your history. It wasn't written by you. It was history of other people. Some of our children have no respect, no appreciation, and no love for the parents who work hard, who suck salt, who pound goo to send those children in school. And when the children finish school and they go to university, they abandon their parents. They don't even want to come back in the community and help their parents. It's so sad that a woman's son went and studied and become a doctor. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Hey, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, the contract workers in our country want to know when will they be permanent, because they understand they was on contract for a long while, and promises made with them they will be made permanent, and they're waiting to be made permanent. They're waiting to be made permanent. And Mr. Pierre, you see sometimes when things going on around in a home in a country, sometimes we try to divert attention and bring something that it will solving the problem, just to divert people attention from one thing, the major issue, to something that is alleged. Because when you promise someone something, yes, they go for it, they accept it, they give you the blessing upon it. And when for them to receive what they promise them, they turn and doing the opposite. It's the opposite. I'm simply I want to speak about the leadership. You see, sometimes, not sometimes in life, I always say to people, respect is not to have an age limit. You know, sometimes you might be an employer, and then your employee is working with you. You cannot expect, you shouldn't want the employee to respect you, and you're the employer showing the opposite, showing disrespect to those under you. And if you have a business and want workers to work good and be efficient and to produce, you have to treat them the right way as a leader. So that is one of the attributes a leader must have: respect and know how to deal with people. I mean, simply, like you have in a home, you are the father in a home, and if someone come to your home and they see you sit on and they go in and they question your child, what is going on in the home? How will you feel? Will you feel happy about that? If person see you there, but they bypass and they go in and speaking to children, what's going on in your home? Right? You have to go to the right source. And in every ministry, you have a minister, right? And then you have a permanent secretary. You know what I mean? So then, if the permanent secretary that have to report to cabinet, you have the minister have to report to cabinet what is going on in his ministry. You cannot bypass the minister and go to the permanent secretary. You understand? So things have to be done the right way. And I call up and don't matter your position in society. Respect, you have to respect those under you. And those under you have to respect you. But once you put disrespecting those under you, you get back what you sowed. So simply that's my easy response.
Thank you, Colin. Colin, you made some comparisons there that I feel compelled to talk about. There are a lot of different type of leadership that works. In some homes, people say, obey the captain, sing the damn ship. Some fathers I know say, obey the captain and sing the damn ship. And people obey the captain inside the house. And that in these homes, some of these homes, you never hear the wife challenge or the spouse challenge her husband or her spouse openly. If you have keen ears, you might hear her chastising him privately, but she support him openly. There are in some homes, children go and ask the father. The father said, did you tell mommy? And sometimes mommy said, did you tell daddy? And over the years, children learn to know the trick how to manage mommy and daddy. But within government ministry, there is different level of orders. A permanent secretary is also like an insulator between the minister and the workers. The system was created so to prevent no minister have direct authority over a public worker. It passed through the minister. But with time and serious politics, you could have variation. When you're a worker, you must know who you're working with, who is your boss and who paying you. Very, very, very important for a worker in the public service to know who's the boss. Some workers know the Public Service Commission is a boss. And some worker might deal with a boss in private, total different how they deal with him in public. But it's a question of obeying instruction. That's why in the public service, some people are given written instructions and they know the law. However, sometimes when you politicize the system and the workers themselves help that process, things could go haywire. But leadership is not straightforward. And you have different type of leadership. Fredo was going up a hill, going up Fredo with a cannon. He had 16 workers bringing up the cannon. Fredo find they was moving too slow. He spoke to them, they complaining. He pulled his gun and he shoot 2 of them. The others start to run up the hill with the cannon. That is leadership too. In slavery, people was flogged. When they wanted them to produce more, they flogged them. Some of them was placed on a wheel and beat mercilessly. So people knew what would be the end result of insubordination. They also have a term called buck busting. It was practiced in Jamaica on several occasions. Young males that believed that they wanted to lead, they break them. During slavery, the parents was telling children, the male children, how to take lash so they wouldn't die. So with leadership come all form of variation. Survival is important. When you get a job, you must learn to obey instruction. You must know who you're working with. And you must try not to be insubordinate. It's very easy to say that the person in charge must respect you, and that's supposed to be, respect is very good in the workplace. But people must know what their instructions are and prepare to go to the job and get it done. In Grenada, productivity is a problem. In all workplaces, productivity is a problem. Some of the private entities get more from their workers, the banks, the electricity company, the telephone company, Digicel and other companies. Some workers don't reach late at all. And they have time system. In other places, particularly in the government entity and the public service, people are always accusing public officers with some measure of accuracy for low productivity. And sometimes the service is bad. And people believe it's government, so they don't care. And when you contaminate it with politics, it becomes worse. Because within the service, they're going to have green and yellow. And maybe yellow more monitoring green than working. And all sorts of double standard. But it is in our interest in Grenada to increase productivity. Even within families, productivity is a serious problem within families. In Grenada today, families could do much better if families work together, if they unite, if they understand money management, they will do much better. Young people get involved in business, and particularly if they're successful, they start to get out of hand. They get arrogant. They get disrespectful. They feel they have absolutely no need for elders. And they don't reach their 5-day foot break, the business done. If they get sick, the business done. Because they are sole traders. They don't see the need to work together. And it's a very important thing for us as a people to work together. Look, observe, don't believe me when I speak. Look around in your parish, in your villages, and see how much successful business that you have children involved in it. Even if the children is better educated than the family members, they don't support the business. They don't help in the business. Sometimes it's a paradox. Sometimes it's laughable. Sometimes it is economically obscene that you have children where the parents have business. The children living in the house at no expense. We have a caller on the line. Caller Punch.
Afternoon, sir.
Yes, my brother Punch.
Oh, shit. Oh, God, work.
Yes, my brother. Good. No, that happened to me sometimes. No expense, but they leave Ticola and go in St. George's and work for $1,200 a month. They leave Ticola and go in St. George's, taking 2 buses to work for $1,200. and the parents have a shop or a small business in the community, and the parents are hiring people and paying them more than what the children working for in town. Simple because the children believe they have an associate degree or they go in secondary school. You have a call on the line. Caller, welcome.
Sir Pierre,
Yes, my brother.
good afternoon.
Great, man.
Every time the months of October and November come around, it reminds me of the thousands of prisoners that was free when the Americans opened up the dungeons of Bishop Jail. Some old PRA does not want to hear that, but that is history. My wife was a little girl at that time. She did not know about that 1979 to 1983. Now my two boys with her is all grown up. So I am glad to tell my two sons about the events. Now I remember Bishop was always talking about heavy manners on his radio for Grenada. Person not frightened the guns of the rulers. Militaries used to hide on houses in the night to hear what person was speaking. About the PRG in the morning was jail heavy manners. Dr. Japal was accused of giving money to contest. The PRG locked him up. That was lies. I am sharing with you all what I know. Any expression of opinions about elections and freedom of speech by anyone was a real danger with them to live free or die in jail. That was the motto of the court bishop gang of murderers. I remember before 1979, the NJM was very active in the disappearance of persons. Irie Bishop, Inspector of Police Bellman, many others were killed in Petit Fair. I remember attending a meeting on Wednesday, 23rd, 1974. One man was killed. He was Didi from Victoria. I was on the truck after attending a meeting. The NGM Jew will stay on the hill and roll big stone on the truck. There was two trucks. One was in front. Dune was the driver and Bork was the one behind. The driver in which I was on the truck behind was hit by a huge stone. A man called Didi died. The truck behind Didi died instantly. All my clothes were blood. There was a gentleman named Daniel Simon. He got a broken finger from the same stone that killed Didi. We were standing behind the truck when the NGM strike in Kotomeli on the hill. Anybody can ask him about that. He has a shop in Maoche. Right now he's doing a shop. Better known as Drex and Casa Pastor Simon Uncle. The NGM committee was a atrocities in Grenada. And the story must be told. One thing I love to say, sir, I got guys that could have taken them on. But he always said that he wanted to return to his ancestors with a clean hand, not with blood, and that he did. I will continue speaking about that for the whole month. Thank you, Sir Pierre.
Thank you, caller. You're welcome, and I encourage you to speak about it. We must never stop. Our children unborn must know that during the 4.5 years, over 3,000 Grenadians went in prison without charge, without trial, without an opportunity to defend themselves. That more than 3,000 to 4,000 Grenadians flee Grenada to Trinidad and other neighboring countries to escape being in prison and incarcerated. That during that period of time, the bishop supervised over the worst crimes in Grenada after slavery and colonialism. There are those who want to hide that history and pay attention only to the written work, but we must continue to speak. They must know of the individuals as castrated and the policemen toes that were ponged out. They must know how they treat the Rastafarians, the manner in which they treat the Rasta brothers. Morris Bishop ate with them. He drank with them. He smoked weed with them. He sleep on their mat. And then he jailed them and feed them in the cow pen. Sometimes when he raided the Rasta in the hills, Mackenzie was said to be shot in the woods. They left him there to die. And obviously, there are a number of Rastafarians that they pick up with them and their children. But those who had children and the army didn't see the children, they didn't bother to go back for them. There was an incident from the village in Carrier, St. Andrews, when three children was picked up by a farmer from the woods and brought in Maryborough hospitals. 2 girls and 1 boy eating green half-ripe fig because their mother and father was picked up by the PRA and in jail. Other relatives are able to identify them and they grew up with them. One of them is in Grenada now and 2 of them is out of the village. They are from the village of Carrier. But the older ones, perhaps even too afraid to talk now. And the younger ones don't know the history. So we must continue to speak about it. This is why I believe we're wasting time studying history in school. More attention must be placed on maths, mathematics and English language, Spanish, computer science, and a foreign language. It is important for us to know that more than 60% of first-time business fail in the first 5 years of operation. More than 60% of first-time business fail in the first 5 years of operation. In Grenada today, you see the amount of attack on people who have contract and indigenous business that start for the first time. Our own people attacking them mercilessly. But ask them the statistic in England. More than 60% of first-time business fail in the first 5 years. But all our economists know that. We're supposed to hold the hand of first-time business, nurture them, and help them to succeed. We are 12 to 14% of public expenditure goes to post-secondary education. That is significant. 12 to 14% of expenditure, public expenditure, goes to post-secondary school education. But Pope John Paul, he warned third world countries, you can't invest in tertiary education at the expense of secondary education. While all this is taking place, 70% of our children that exit secondary school cannot meet the basic requirement in school. They cannot meet the basic requirement in school. We have some Grenadians that are walking around with a briefcase, a certificate, as if them is heavyweight. They must know these statistics. And while they're doing that, they're attacking mercilessly the same people who people decide to give a second chance. The people on contract, the people in the money program, they're attacking them mercilessly. The only reason they're doing that, The only reason they're doing that, because they think the briefcase or certificate they have put them in a new social class. My brothers and sisters, we could change this thing. You know. We could change this thing. 61% of youth respondents trying to get a job or a business realize they don't have the academic qualification or they don't have the skills to get in the labor market. When you hear people tell you they're going to make jobs, but they're hiding the truth from you, how they going to make jobs? They promise a few people jobs, so they find those who have jobs to give the few people the jobs. These people are not thinkers. Once you decide to establish think tanks and think, you could come up with answers to solve our problems in 5 to 10 years. We could get jobs for thousands of Grenadians in 5 to 10 years. We must change the attitude and the psychic of our educators. I am so disappointed in these new juveniles, political juveniles, because I believe they start on the wrong trajectory. Even after making so much promise to the country, and the most average Grenadian knew that this promise was too good to be true. But they did not even believe the promise. I really thought they believed the promise. The promise was manipulative. It was trickery. 1 month after they got into power, irrespective of all these statistics, I tell you, they must know it. They must know it. They go trying to fire people to employ people. They're firing people to give people jobs. Does that make sense? They're firing people that spend 5, 10, 15 years working, that are tied up with financial institutions, that are tied up with courts, that would not be able to pay their susu, that would not be able to pay the shopkeepers. They are putting them on the breadline to employ some people who they believe are the supporters. I ask, what is the option? 2 of our top outstanding Calypsonian, one of them offer to lick it, drink rum, and the next one say, open your business. You know, I encourage parents to listen to Sparrow. Children go to school and learn well. Otherwise, later on, you go catch real hell. But you must know what well means. When somebody tell you go to school and learn well, you must know what well means. Well mean you must get maths. You must get English language. You must get a science subject. You must get a foreign language. You must be computer wise. That is what well means. That is the first step. Because 60% of new business don't believe. Ask Lennox Andrew. I could call him on radio big enough. He's the only individual in the 9 political juveniles that is now running the country that I've had extensive, long discussion with. And every effort he made at publication, I make certain and go and buy the booklet. So he must know these things. He knows the chances of survival of small business in Grenada is extremely small. They must be supported by government. So when I hear the Prime Minister showing some low blow, some political blows at a small company that start in a community, I thought it was unacceptable. Some of our small business have to be nurtured. They have to be held in a hand and work with them. Because 60% of new businesses, first-time business in England, fail in the first 5 years. But you don't have to believe me. Go and ask anybody that is not a junior in a bank. Any bank. Go and ask anybody that is not a junior in the credit union. Any credit union. Or go and ask Stores. Lennox Andrew. Ask him. He must know. This is why I cannot understand. Yes, caller, welcome. Caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, my brother.
I don't know if you had heard yesterday, Mr. Tillman Thomas, ex-Prime Minister, is say that he's not in support of the day of Maurice Bishop's death to be celebrated as a holiday. He said that on Ride Along or something, so this program from speaking to this fellow from America, and he said that he doesn't support that at all. Mr. Ron Redhead said that the government will celebrate that day, and then he come back and tell Callister that the government have not come to a settlement on that yet. It is just out, and they have to put a committee to it. So something seems to be wrong there. Mr. Tillman Thomas also is in core with the Prime Minister, the President Prime Minister, finding of wrongdoings, as he said, of the past government. Well, that is still a matter to be discussed, because the NDC put out a bulletin saying that they have nothing to do with that. So that is, I think perhaps that may have to go to the courts or something of the sort, but it seems to be also.
Caller,
yeah.
You didn't hear when some of the key players in NDC recommending they should throw pee on some of them old people?
Yes, I did know that.
Did you hear Mr. Tillman Thomas object to it?
No.
When these same individuals was saying the church sucking the anus of a political party, did you hear Mr. Tillman Thomas objecting to it?
No.
Did Mr. Tillman tell us anything about the $50,000 he get and they accuse him for putting it on the right account?
He said he put it in the most safe place.
Yes, Mr. We have to have people that is consistent.
Yeah.
Now that they smell corruption and you jump on it, and already Mr. Tillman Thomas, perhaps for the first time in a long time on the radio, because he smell corruption. But he never tell us anything about that $50,000. And he never objected when top members of the National Democratic Congress was advising to throw pee on old people.
He said he was the most trustworthy person in the party at the time.
Nothing's wrong with that. Everybody, monkey always writes his story.
So he is the best person to put his money on.
Yeah. But do you think this young group of juveniles have any respect or regards for the older ones in the party?
Not yet.
They don't have. So maybe they're just fighting to get a little political attention because they have been lost in the wilderness.
I can tell you that in the revolution, while the revolution was on, I was an employee with the Grenada Cocoa Association. And a gentleman named Harry Duncan, living in Gulf, used to come and give us class every Thursday. And he was teaching us how we had to assist in Yes, you must. You must. That was true. You must go. Even the station manager had us to go. And he said to us once that the revolution is about to be attacked. And if everybody have to show their loyalty by doing something, those who cannot go to the front line will have to cook or wash or do something. And he was asking more or less individually what you intend to do. And I said, I don't intend to do anything because the revolution do bad. And no, he said, Mr. Gary.
Thank God he failed to jail you.
Yeah, he said Mr. Gary did a lot of wrong in his days. And the revolution is a thanks we have the revolution. I say, well, the revolution do a lot of bad too because up to now, we don't know about Harry Bishop, and it is said that the revolution is responsible for Harry Bishop. He tell me if I see that again, the dark room for me. I hush me, but I never say a word again because I was afraid the dark room. I was totally afraid the dark room. From that, I was very circumspect in speaking because I know he'd have put me in the dark room. I stood up and see him put a gun to the front of Miss Ferguson, who was the principal of McDonald College, of Waltham Secondary School. And he told her if one child leave the school, he will deal with her, with the gun pointing at her. I could testify that myself and one Charlie Mola and Slim was in the vehicle. And when we saw that they couldn't do anything to stop the children from going, we left and go by the Waltham School. That is what I witnessed.
I think it's very important for people to speak. You see, it's important because this present regime, this present government, seems to evoke Maurice Bishop's spirit and set up the Ministry of Mobilization, which was similar to the Ministry of Mischief. And the last Minister of Mobilization, the previous.
He asked about and wanted to practice law in Grenada. I think he's debarred from practicing law in Grenada also.
Not Selwyn Strong. I think it's Iwatlin.
I think both of them are not.
Okay. I don't know about him. So let me just, yeah.
So I must admit that there was some good things came from the revolution, but I never supported the revolution.
And the revolution was not good. It was not legal, but he might have done some good things. He had some good ideas. And you know that marketing board started. They used to call Pierre milk. We drank it in school.
Yeah.
But we failed to say it's not Pierre milk. So everybody Pierre milk. The revolution was a bag of lies. Yes, scholar, thank you.
Thank you.
And this is a good period. You see, we must understand the history. And you must speak to your children. And families must prepare to sit down and discuss money management. We have too much of our children going to school, coming back with degree in business management, to the value of that business. That doesn't make sense. I always ask, who is these teachers that are teaching these children? You cannot be in a small country like Grenada, where the majority of Grenadians are landowners. So it means I have capital. You cannot establish no business in the sky. Even though it's an Air Force you have, it must come down. So already, we have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, very good. It's kind of windy here in my area of St. George Northeast, but nevertheless,
I hear you clear, yeah.
All right, good, yeah. Love your contribution, and I realize you're a man of passion for the educational aspect of life.
That's the only reason on radio.
Right.
Education.
So, let us address the elephant in the room, right? Because apparently, there was a meeting Monday under the guise of what you call a town hall. I would say it was an NDC rally Monday night that was held by NDC people, NDC members, and NDC supporters. Hence the reason why I'm saying such. I'll let's pinpoint one. There was a question addressed to the minister in charge of culture and the performing arts and so forth. The Prime Minister, PMDM, blatantly cut off Minister Ron Redhead and put a member of the party, Orlando Romain. Yeah? Orlando Romain is not an elected member of the government. He's not a senator. He's not a parliamentary representative. He's a member
He's a public servant?
No, he's not. He's a member of the NDC. Orlando Romain. Why is Orlando Romain on the head table answering questions pertaining to the government performance for the last.
He must be more powerful and run with it.
Right. Not only that, I, like many other people, have observed that on the Prime Minister's right, his right-hand side, there was Honorable Kevin Andrews, Honorable Andy Williams, and others, well, two others, you know. And it seems to me that something is happening. It's not all business. What caught my attention and caught my ear was the two jaw-dropping statements by a Prime Minister, Minister of National Security, of a Polish guy who apparently paid some money to the government, the then government of Grenada, the NMP, for a passport and a ambassador at large position. This is the elephant in the room. This guy said, the lawyer, Mr. Deacon Mitchell, PM Deacon Mitchell, honorable. The Polish guy paid $290,000 US. Not easy. And in one aspect, he paid $150,000 US to the government treasury, or the treasury of Grenada, and $140,000 to Southern George NP branch office. No, he says he has receipts for the government receipts. He has that. But he doesn't know where the rest is, and he's giving legal advice and pay back and pay back and pay back and pay back.
Did the check make in the name of the St. George's Southeast?
Well, the guy says he has all the proof and it's there.
Yeah, but what I'm asking, if the two different checks was made, one to the government and one to the party?
Right. So this right now, the Southern George office is being scrutinized now under Mr. Cox's leadership as of when he took over.
Yeah, but if the check was made in the name of the political party, then what the government, what the Prime Minister to do with that?
Hold on. He said that the guy said he paid $200 for a passport and diplomacy or whatever. What this guy did, PM Deacon Mitchell, is give a very vague statement in what I call it not a NNP or NDC trigger thing in it. What this guy did Monday night was a rally to rile up his party members, supporters, and whoever want to come and say whatever, which they're doing right now. I'm listening to them right now on other stations. I'm listening to them very carefully. You made an awareness a while ago about a guy throwing pee on people. This morning, the guy on the radio saying, beat them in church and carrying on. I'm making a clarion call. Deacon Mitchell, PM Deacon Mitchell, you and your ministers and your surrogates get control of what you all put out in the public. This Grenada right now, the NMP has all the right. Deacon Mitchell, you put the allegation out, the NMP has all the right to defend themselves, and repeat what you're saying. NDC supporters, we NMP people have all the rights. NMP as a party, the opposition as a party has all the right to put out a release debunking what you all say.
No, it's not necessary, you know, Color. If the Deacon is playing in politics, the NMP could ignore it.
Well, this one to see your signal.
Yes, no, sometimes you see what need to be dealt with is the social media warriors on the social media. NNP seems not prepared to deal with the individuals on social media. Because I see some people...
I am here. That is the I am here.
Yeah.
And I will support you. I will support Carl. I will support Igwe. I will support Andre. Because what they're doing, they're calling people of the NNP support group stupid. So 29,000 people in Grenada is stupid.
Well, they claim Tillman Thomas said something to the effect that you cannot be patriotic and be an NNP.
Exactly. So these are the things that they're doing. And I always saying, I've been monitoring what's been happening for the last couple of years in politics. I became an NNP in 1999, right? Up until now. I represent George Northeast, right? So I can tell you all my members of NNP I support.
Yeah, but Kola, you don't need to get too upset about that. And I'll tell you why. This has been the practically the philosophy, the hallmark of the National Democratic Congress always. Yeah. They are not doing anything now more different than they did before. The only difference is everybody have access to social media more.
And that's the
And
point.
maybe NNP has not yet
Right.
been as active to social media as that.
Right. So
And in addition to evoking Maurice Bishop's spirit, they are implementing some of the strategies of the revolution.
Right. So before I go, Mr. Pierre, let me tell you something. This NMP has been a long time in the making, likewise NDC. But what the NDC is using now is the same social media. Now, Facebook was there like 2007.
But it was not as active. It was not as dynamic.
But what is happening now is that people can say whatever they want and hide their face with no... Right now, my face is on every profile. And I'm calling them out as is on a profile page, which is my page, my name. My name is there. And I will take them on head on because you know what?
But you are taking on... But Carla, when you take on Onisto, there is no face.
No. Don't worry about that. I don't address that one. But
all right, okay.
The Prince of Faith, the things I know about the Prince of Faith, and the things the Prince of Faith know that I know, he had to come himself. That's the reason why this morning he beat people with broom. Anyway, you have a good day.
Yes, my brother. Yes, the one have to prepare when you want to deal with the politics in Guinea to be very cool, because when you finish, you must go and sit down and take a drink. Is wrong with the politician politicking. You may not, but yeah, you could make the low blow. It's all that is in Grenada politics. It's a little bit unfortunate that when a government comes into power, they normally want send out the olive branch. They want to rest the politics for a little while and continue with the governance of the country. But maybe the government is very confident that they can handle both roles. And because the government has incorporated political victimization as part of the modus operandi, yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
You said this morning something that effect?
No, I didn't say that.
What was the narrative regarding the $50,000?
Yeah, I said it was alleged that he had $50,000 and he put it in the right account.
And
if you go back and what you could do is to go back and listen to what I said. And I said it was alleged that he got $50,000 and he put it in the right account.
It was also alleged that the faith-based organization got $6+ million into their account.
Yes.
Yesterday you said you haven't heard that, you don't know anything about that.
Yesterday I said I am not scholar. Somebody asked about faith-based. I said I don't know about faith-based. I don't know about this organization. But based upon what Deacon said, in when I heard what was said, I asked what's about the workers? How many workers that was working there? What was the income of an individual worker and how long they work for? Because I want to, you see, caller.
No, let me finish my point.
Caller, listen to me. No, caller, you asking me question. That is what is dangerous. Caller, when you call on this program, you could speak. But when you interrupt and you ask me a question and you're waiting for an answer, is a different thing. You see, some people ask these questions to run with things. You see, you ask me about 2-3 questions.
You go ahead and speak.
So you can't do that. Next time when you call, make your statements. If you want to ask questions, ask me. But if you want a conversation where you interrupt me with questions, that's not a good thing.
Right? Okay, let me finish my question.
Right. And you use the last caller, so go ahead.
So you said you know nothing about faith-based organization, and you never heard of it, and I wonder why. You know Emmeline Pierre? Hello?
Caller, I could answer you off the air. We don't have time. You see, we don't have time for this conversation.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll call you off the air.
Yes, another time call me. Yeah. I always encourage my callers. We have a short time in this program. I encourage people to punch. If you want information from me, you could ask me a question. You have 2-3 questions, you ask me and let me answer. But if you want to make a statement, you want to ask me a question and react, because I don't answer yes or no question easy. And these questions are asked, and the questions is loaded. You're asking me if, did you say that? Did you say that? Did you know? No. You can't do that to me on the radio. I don't function like that. I give you an opportunity to punch, and I give you an opportunity to call back. So these questions you're asking is, it was alleged that Mr. Thomas got about $50,000 and he put it on the right account. Some people say he shouldn't put it on that account. Some people say he put it on the right account. Now we're speaking about issues with money, and I ask, the check that was received, was it in the name of the government? Was it in the name of the political party? I ask this question. If the Prime Minister said that he was shocked, he was stunned that $6 million was given to a company within 2 years, I ask, how many people was working with that company? What was the income of one person? And how long they worked for? Well, if he said 2 years, one would assume 24 months. And the people who he was speaking to was top of the line, academic, educated people. So it's either they didn't have a pen or a calculator to do the calculation. But don't let the ordinary man make you look as if you didn't do maths. And coming back, parents, you have a responsibility to make certain your children leave school with a basic education. Your children must get maths. They must get English language. They must do well in computer science or internet or whatever. They must study a science subject, and they must get a foreign language. And our children must do money management. We have to stop trick black people. Rest is history. Don't waste time with history in school. When you get big, you go read history. Because a lot of the history is lies. And tell your children your history. And the brothers and the sisters who was affected by the revolution throughout the whole month, throughout the whole year, on this program, you're free to call us and tell us your story. If they take out your toenail, tell us. If they castrate you, tell us. If they put you lie down on the ground and walk on your back, tell us. Because Dick Mitchell has evoked Maurice Bishop's spirit, and we are asking for him to suspend, drop out, stop, disband the Ministry of Mobilization. That is the Ministry of Mischief. And we're back with you again next week, Monday, between Monday and Thursday, 12 to 1, for another opportunity to punch. But remember the extension on Friday. Thank you very much.
We love, we dance and we play. We relate to each other, resting Yahweh. Today, as a people united as one, determined and steadfast we stand. We look to a brand new horizon, the future.